What is going on, Fan Clan? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Danny Phantom. Happy Sunday. It is Sunday. It is October 30th. It's hard to believe. This is going to be the last video that I record in the month of October. The next video will be in November. That means we've got 2 months left. 2 months left of 2022. I'm going to jump into things pretty quick here. 2 months left is crazy. At the beginning of the year, we set a goal to get to 100,000 subscribers on this channel. And I don't know if we're going to get there, but we're getting very, very close. And it's all thanks to you guys. So I just wanted to start out the video by saying thank you so much to all of you guys. You've been such a blessing. All the likes, all the comments, all the new subscribers. It's been a lot of fun sharing this journey with you guys. I can't wait to get to that 100K goal, celebrate. We're going to crack open three vintage booster boxes, give away every pack inside. All the hits are going to get graded by CGC with a special commemorative insignia celebrating the occasion. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you guys can bear with me for the next couple months as we try and hit that goal, I really, really appreciate it. Share the channel. Tell everybody to subscribe to Danny Phantom. Leave likes, comments. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. But I really, really want to talk to you guys today about Evolving Skies. There's been a lot of content out there about Evolving Skies. Evolving Skies is defying everything we know about modern Pokemon. It doesn't make sense. The singles don't make sense. And I want to give you my honest opinion. I don't want to cause FOMO. I don't want to cause any chaos when it comes to Evolving Skies. I think these prices don't make sense to me. They don't make sense to me. I don't know how you guys feel, so you can let me know in the comment section down below. I do think we're going to get a reprint on this set because here's why. And I understand there's people who don't want reprints. There's collectors who are like, no, you've reprinted enough. Just leave Evolving Skies alone. We don't need reprints. I get it. I get it. Evolving Skies is only like 14 months old. It's not an old set. It's very, very modern. It's going to be in standard competitive play for over a year yet, at least a year. So the idea of it's staying at $250 a booster box, singles continuously rising, and there's cheaper singles in this set, but product getting more and more expensive, booster packs pushing $8 in some areas. It's ludicrous. It doesn't make sense to me. So I feel like Pokemon's going to step in at some point, and this is my own opinion. I could be wrong, but I think they're going to reprint this set at some point in time. I don't think that some of these singles are going to stick. I'm going to flip you guys around. I did do a little bit of a change. You may have seen that yesterday when I posted, just trying to get things to look a little cleaner, a little crisper. You can let me know what you think down in the comment section down below. But we're going to look at just the alternate arts of this set. And there's a lot of movement in this set outside of just the alternate arts, but we're focusing just on the alternate arts for this video. First of all, looking at the booster boxes, I want to look at the last 3 months of data because that's really when the reprint, the last reprint that we had, the middle of July, hit. So we had booster boxes that dropped all the way down to about $140. We saw that in the middle of July, came right around to MSRP again, and then kind of took off to a point we've never seen before. Not only with Evolving Skies, but really with modern Pokemon booster boxes in general. These you cannot order these from a distributor anymore. If you do, you're paying way, way above wholesale costs. You're paying probably well above MSRP. If there's any distributors out there who have any of these in back stock, you're probably paying close to $220 for a booster box, just wholesale pricing, because they're impossible to get. It's difficult to find these. They're readily available. Booster packs are readily available in a lot of collection boxes and tins and things like that, but it's hard to find booster boxes at a good price point. That's what you're seeing over these past 3 months here. We're at $158.48 at the beginning of August. That's the beginning of August. You're looking at almost $100 that it has jumped over the past 3 months. I mean, that's what, 40%? I'm not even good at doing the math in my head right now, but it's got to be around that point that you're seeing this jump up. Currently sitting at $248.81, right off of its 3-month high of $257.17. Just crazy to think a modern in-print, it should be in-print booster box selling for $250. Very, very crazy. Then we look at Umbreon VMAX, which is really the card that's kind of defining and really defying the modern print, because this is something that we haven't seen. Even when you go back to some of the old competitive cards like Uxie and Shaman and Tapu Lele, cards that people needed, staples in their decks, you never saw anything like this. We did not see anything like this. There was cards like the Full Art Mega Charizard from Evolutions that was hyped up. That was about $100 at pre-order, but that's pretty much the most expensive it ever got. It dropped like a rock right after the set release. Some of the more expensive cards that we saw from even like the plasma sets, like the Plasma Charizard pushing $80, $90, $95 not too long after the set released. We didn't see cards like this. Now we don't have previous comparisons outside of the later in the Sun and Moon block alternate arts, but none of those made it anything like this. Even the Latios and Latias alternate art that was only selling for like $40, $50, $60 not long after the set release. This is defying logic when it comes to modern Pokemon because of how much it has gained over the past several months. And I understand it's a very difficult card to pull, very difficult for the alternate art VMAXs. You're looking at over one. You're looking at, I think it's about 1 per case is the pull rates on these, but not very good. And there's a lot of them in this set. There's a lot of them in Chilling Reign. You had a couple in Fusion Strike, obviously, with the Espeon and the Gengar, and not a whole lot ever since then, right? Not a whole lot of alternate art VMAXs ever since Fusion Strike. But if you look at what this has done over the past 3 months, so at the beginning of August, sitting at 323.09, and then to skyrocket over, I mean, really, really high jumps here, up to 517.61, which is where it's sitting right now, and continuing to climb just doesn't add up a whole lot. And if I'm thinking of this, my own personal opinion is that a lot of this is FOMO. A lot of this is being bought out by, maybe this was bought out a while ago by different groups, people kind of trying to manipulate the price a little bit. I don't know. I understand supply and demand is huge for this card. I understand demand is very, very, very high for this card, but to justify a card that can still be pulled, there's a lot of pictures of people pulling it out of the Charizard Ultra Premium Collection, selling for $517.61 is crazy to me. Very crazy to me. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next several months. I do think this card is going to drop, as well as the Rayquaza, as well as some of the other alternate arts that we're seeing. I think that this is, these price increases is more FOMO related. People afraid of missing out on some of these alternate arts. They don't want to get in too late, and then all of a sudden, boom, Espeon, Sylveon, the regular Vs are jumping up to, you know, $100, $150, $200, and they're like, whoa, I missed out by not getting them at $80. I think that some of these prices are not indicative of the actual market, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Rayquaza VMAX, another one that has climbed astronomically to new heights. 304.96 is where it's currently sitting. That's a 3-month high for this card. 214.17 is where it was at the beginning of August. Again, a beautiful card. These are beautiful, beautiful artworks, but I don't know if it makes a whole lot of sense for these cards to be jumping this much. I think a lot of it is FOMO. I think a lot of it is just constant talk by content creators, people afraid of missing out on some of these singles at a decent price point. Then we've got Glaceon VMAX, another great looking card with the Pikachu hanging out in there, the Meryl hanging out in there. Very, very good looking. You can see this one consistently stayed right around that 120 mark throughout August and September until October hit, and then you started talking about alternate arts. A lot of people talking about alternate arts, and this one took off, and now it's sitting at 180.79. Basically, in the span of 1 month, just this month, it jumped $60. It jumped 40% in just the span of a month, sitting at 180.79. Same thing, Leafeon stayed really consistent throughout August. After that reprint hit, it actually dropped down to that 111.50 mark at August 20th before really taking off again. Now it's sitting at 164.61. That's another 3-month high for that card. Sylveon VMAX actually dipped down over the past couple weeks here, but again, stayed very consistent. And this is one of them that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and you start worrying about buyouts, right? Because of how quickly it spiked and now how it's correcting itself a little bit. So 120, right around that price point from the beginning of August all the way through to the end of September, and then all of a sudden it shot up, which means a lot of copies got bought out at increased prices until it hit a certain point, that 154.18, and now all of a sudden it's easing back a little bit. So now it's sitting currently at 146.21. So we'll see how this continues over the next couple months or so, especially if Evolving Skies does get reprinted. Umbreon V, kind of the same thing, right around that $75 mark. It was at $78.01 as early as the beginning of September, and that was slightly up from where it was in August. So August, September, all the way up until October, it stayed right in between that $75 and $85 price point before shooting up all of a sudden in October. And a lot of people were talking about Evolving Skies. A lot of people were talking about alternate arts, and then all of a sudden, boom, we're at 101.16, which is a three-month high for Evolving Skies. Rayquaza VMAX, another one headed in the same direction here, stayed very consistent around that $70 mark throughout August, throughout September. October 1st hit, and look at it take off. Look at it take off. 94.01 is where it's currently sitting. So you're looking at about a 30% price jump over the span of a month. So is that real, or is that more manipulated? Is that people buying out these copies because they don't want to miss out? Is that people buying out these copies so that way they can resell at a certain price point later on down the road? We'll see. Time will tell. If we look at Dragonite V, kind of the same thing. August all the way way up until the beginning of October, it was sitting right around that $80 mark. So you can see it hit a 3-month low at the beginning of September of $78.15. Went up a little bit, $86, then went back down to that $81 mark at the beginning of October before, boom, shooting up again. Now it's sitting at $92.79, which is another 3-month high for that card, but you're looking at about 20% higher over the past just 1 month. Espeon, a little different. It's been more of a gradual climb for the Espeon V. $53.30 is where it was sitting at the beginning of August before it's kind of gradually taking off a little bit. But again, middle of October, you see a little bit bigger of a jump, jumping from $60 up to $74. So about 20% again over the last 3 weeks or so, over the last month, sitting at $74.31 currently. Glaceon, another one of those that was consistently lower, and we're looking at 6 months of data for Glaceon. The graphing was screwed up for 3 months, so we're looking at 6 months of data, but kind of the same thing here. So you see May a little bit higher there at $55, then goes down in July because that's when we got that reprint, stayed right around that $45 mark. You can see it hit its 3-month low at the beginning of July of $47.89, and then stayed fairly close to that price point, got up to $55 until October hit. October 1st hits, and then boom, takes off like a rocket again, and now it's sitting at $74.44, which is a 3-month high for that card. But again, another situation where it jumps about 30% just throughout the span of August. Sylveon V, been more of a gradual climb for this one, a little bit different than what we saw, but also a little bit more expensive when October hit to begin with. It was at $49.97 at the beginning of August, and you see a slow and steady climb throughout all of August and all of September until October 1st hit, and that's kind of where that little dip is there before taking back off and sitting at $71.33, which is a 3-month high for that card as well. And Leafeon, again, another card that shot up really in the middle of August, middle of October, beginning of October, right around $50 in August, stayed that way throughout pretty much all of September, where it hit about $55, so about a 10% gain over those 2 months, and then all of a sudden, boom, it jumps 30% just about between October 1st and the end of October, where it's sitting at $69.39. That's a 3-month high for that card. Noivern V, this is probably my favorite artwork of all the alternate art V cards in the set. Obviously, Umbreon VMAX, forget about it. Such a beautiful card, but with the skyline behind it, I think the Batman Noivern looks absolutely phenomenal. I think this is a really good buy. I think this is a great card. I think it's going to be appreciated long-term for a really long time. This one's actually not too expensive, not too bad as far as price point goes, but again, same situation where the beginning of October, it kind of took off. So beginning of August, it's sitting right around that $28 mark, drops down in the middle of August to $27.06, which was a 3-month high, stays very close to that point, hits $30, stays close to that point until October 1st, then boom, jumps up to $34.75, which is its 3-month high. It actually was a little bit higher than that a couple weeks ago. It was at $36, so it jumped up about 20% in the span of October. Duraludon VMAX, for some reason, people just don't like Duraludon. It doesn't do as well as the other alternate arts. At one point in time, it was at $27.60. That's where it's at right now. That's a 3-month high for that card. It was right around that same point in the middle of August. So this is different than the other alternate arts that we're looking at, but you can see it was dying down. It was diving down until October 1st hit. It went down to $22.87 and then took off like a rocket like the other ones, right back to where it was at the beginning of October. Then the Golurk, same thing, shot up at the beginning of October. In August, it hit $16.45 in the middle of August there. That was a 3-month low for that. Stayed consistently at that point until October 1st hit, and then boom, it jumped up. Not a huge gain from a monetary standpoint. You're only looking at a few dollars there, but still, you're looking at about 20% of a gain. Same thing with Duraludon V. This one was gradually going down like what we saw with the Duraludon VMAX. A lot more copies of these are getting into existence as more and more people are cracking Evolving Skies, those booster boxes, all those ETBs that kind of flooded the market. And then again, a lot of loose packs hitting collection boxes. You can see at the middle of September, this hit a 3-month low of $13.76 before jumping up 40%, 50% throughout the month of October, all the way up to $18.38, which is a 3-month high for this card. Then finally, we have the Medicham V. This is the cheapest one, but again, same situation. It was hovering right around that $12.50, $13 mark. $12.64 was its cheapest point at the beginning of August. Stayed very close to that until the end of September, beginning of October, before it jumped up about 30%. Just in the month of October, jumped up to $16.26. That's a 3-month high for the Medicham V. So let me know what you think in the comments section down below. I've given you my opinion. I'm curious to think what your opinion are. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is just supply and demand. Maybe there is just enough demand for this set that it's kind of making these cards skyrocket. It really reminds me a lot of Hidden Fates. We saw a lot of Hidden Fates singles be really expensive, and then with the amount of reprints that hit with Hidden Fates, those singles crash and they have never been able to recover. That's a little bit of my concern with Evolving Skies, but purely the amount of growth that we've seen over the last month. Maybe a lot of people thinking, okay, this set is not going to get reprinted, especially with the price change coming at the beginning of Scarlet and Violet. I just don't think I can see it. I think Pokemon is kind of be at a point where their hands are forced and they feel like they're going to have to step in because they want to make sure that competitive cards are available for their player base and for people to come into the game. It's not just about existing players finding copies of these cards. It's about a lot of new players kind of entering the space and saying, okay, well, we don't want to scare them away with $8, $9 booster packs of a set that's kind of still in standard. So that's my own opinion. Curious to know what your guys' thoughts are. Hope you like the content. If you do, again, please hit that subscribe button down below. Share with your friends. Leave a like and a comment at least, because it does go a long way for the algorithm, sharing the channel, things like that, guys. Thank you so much for everything. I will see you in November. Until then, guys, peace.